Tennessee should be pretty familiar with this feeling up at this point, for better or worse. They've been tightroping it since the SEC tournament, and if they can get out of their own way, their goals are still very much within reach. Of course, today they start from an 0-1 position with the season on the line once again. But with Liam Doyle on the mound, it's a chance to recreate some of that energy that they had in Knoxville, and if I'm Andrew Fisher, this is the energy I'm trying to replicate. Now, of course, a few loyal Vol fans made their way to Fayetteville, but if I am the first baseman and if it just takes that type of energy to either create some self-belief in the dugout or to cut some of the tension, he has to be the guy that's leading the charge once again then.
I don't know what the tickets cost, but I'm pretty sure everyone here would pay good money to see Root versus Fisher again. So all for any initial emotion that comes out of anybody for our game tomorrow or any of the games that are left.
Because once they get through 9 innings, if this is Tony Vitello after the game, then that would be a pretty disappointing end to the season.
It's called a team sport for a reason. You need every single guy to really enjoy this. And, there's been some guys either trying to do too much or frustrated because they're not perfect or just other things you notice. And, again, it's just being a coach. I mean, it's been great, but I think it can be even better.
And I have to go all the way back to the Knoxville Regional to hear those comments from Tony Vitello, but they're even more so applicable today for Tennessee. They were held to a season-low 2 hits, but of course both of those hits leave the park from Andrew Fisher and Dean Curley to get their home runs on the board, so the box score isn't totally reflective of what the game really looked like and how dominant Zach Root was for Arkansas and how much the Razorbacks were able to outplay Tennessee despite feeling kind of like that razor's edge. But where you maybe want to see some better production could come from just a couple of hitters. It really could just come down to Reese Chapman and Dalton Bargo finding a way to get on base. Right now, they lead the team in strikeouts, and from the Knoxville Regional till now, they're 3 of 36 in their plate appearances. They don't have to be an Andrew Fisher and be top 5 in the country in home runs for them to make a positive impact. It really could just be longer battles with the pitcher. It could be in their ability to take walks, get a base hit. I think if in any way they could see positive production in their at-bats, I think that could go a long way in maybe breaking up some of the tension in the dugout, creating positive energy in a way that doesn't require you to be an Andrew Fisher where you're kind of peering into the crowd and trying to, tease and troll the Arkansas Razorbacks. It really could just come down to their ability to have better positivity from their at-bats, and I think where they separate themselves from, let's say, like Hunter Ensley or Camden Peebles, who also have had some quiet at-bats or have had quiet bats lately, is just in Bargo and Reese's way that they take so many strikeouts. I think if they could minimize that a little bit and get a little bit better production from Tennessee, I think that would be key. But regardless if you want to pinpoint it to 2 people or not, overall, Vitello still wants better discipline at the plate from his team.
You'd like better results. I mean, Gavin's just out. Gavin was aggressive on the first pitch. He's a little out front, and then Fish just missed one. And, of course, he runs off the field like a maniac and letting all of our team know that. That's the guy's fun to watch play. But after that, he got it rolling downhill a little bit on us. So I think the key against him is to get him off the stretch, get somebody on base, and we just did not do that enough. So be easier to specifically analyze when you rewatch that video, but I think it's kind of an easy one to say that we would have liked to have and potentially could have done better. But he had it going on today too.
But it reminded me of a conversation I had with Redmond Walsh, I think before the SEC tournament, about how Frank Anderson kind of had a margin for them, and maybe the game has changed where the arms are more dominant than the hitters this season, but your goal is to maybe hold your opponent to 4 or fewer runs. Tennessee did that against Arkansas. They just didn't have the bats to really help back them up a little bit. But I think when you have a guy like Liam Doyle on the mound today and you are once again with your back against the wall, and we saw what they looked like the last time, game 2 against Wake Forest, I think that gives you a little bit of a better chance. And, hearing from guys like Dean Curley, Liam Doyle in this moment is who you want on the mound.
Doyle's Doyle. Everyone has trust in him, but down the staff too, everyone's got trust. I mean, Marcus went out there and threw his tail off today, so it's a comfortable feeling as a defender and a hitter.
preview, it truly is all between the ears here, whether you are trying to entice and antagonize the crowd, or you're just trying to create your own energy, or calls don't go your way. It's all in how you respond and how you move past that. And maybe the message from the team heading into a decisive game 2 with the season on the line, a chance to split the series, to force a game 3. It's all in their ability to keep the fight.
That's why we play 3. We played series all year long, and we dropped the first game, is what it is, fell short, but that's why we got 3 games. We come back tomorrow with some fight, and we can even it up. So
I'll be back later this afternoon to talk all things Tennessee. I'll see you guys then.
It's important to make the right decisions, like when to go for it on 4th down, or when to kick the field goal or go for the touchdown. It's also important to make the right insurance decisions, too. That's why my office, Trey McAdams State Farm, is here to help you select the right protection at the right price. Our office will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages, so you'll know what to expect when the unexpected happens. With Trey McAdams State Farm, it's easy to make the right call. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Proud sponsor of the Tennessee Vols.